Hello love, so I figured I would show you guys how I'm doing the bone powder since I show y'all how I was processing it. So I'm just gonna start by cleansing the space a little bit. I'm still setting up my working altar because I just finished cleaning it, but I haven't finished setting it up. But I wanted to show y'all how I'm doing this because there's a spell that I'm gonna do right after for using the bone powder, so I wanted to kind of just get that out of the way and just get it going. So I'm just going to cleanse the space a little bit, give it a little bit of love. So I'm just going to be using 2 ingredients, and I'm going to be using the bones that I got. So it looks like this. And I'm going to be using rice as a strengthener. So I'm going to be grinding it up. And the reason why I'm going to be using rice is to give it a nice foundation. So if you think about bones, bones are, they strengthen not only our body, but they strengthen what, our physical form when it comes to holding us together, right? So bones and spell work, the ways that you can, for the many ways that you can use them for strengthening as well, and to kind of have a foundation with your spell work, to give it a little bit of oomph, to give it a little bit of grounding, to give it like legs to walk in, kind of is the way that I like to explain how I'm going to be doing these 2 together. You can do this mixture with other things if you wanted to use bones and other types of spell work, but my basic foundational bone powder recipe is just this. It's bones and rice, and it's just grinding those 2 up, and that together gives you that bone powder strengthening that you're gonna need within the spell work. I want you to think of like when you're making a meal and you're adding rice to the meal, like the carbs, that's to make you full, right? To give you the energy, to give you like the kind of like you're good, you're fed, you're good to go, you have the energy to kind of keep going. That's the same way that I'm going to be using. That's the intention behind using rice. Not only is rice amazing for so many different things when it comes to spell work, but it is really good to as a kind of like a binder, as a strengthener to the spell work. So I'm going to be adding these 2 together because I do feel like it gives the bones that extra kind of like the muscle to the spell that I will be using it for. So I'm going to start off by slowly bringing in some rice, and I'm going to start small, and then I'm going to turn this whole thing into powder, and once that's done, I'm going to be adding some bones, and then I'm going to grind that up, and I'm going to make my bone powder that way. I'm not going to use all of this because I do want some in their natural form, but I'm just going to make it enough to last me for the time that I need. So I'm going to go ahead and start grinding this up, and then I will come back. And we're back. So there we go. It's nice and powdery. This process does take a minute, so if you do need to do this specific part a little bit faster, you can toast up the rice in your oven for like a good 10 to 15 minutes, or you can broil it on like 2 to 3 minutes, and it'll be a little bit more like crispy, and it'll still retain the color if you don't burn it, so you have to pay attention to it. And then you can go ahead and grind it up a lot faster, because then the body of it will turn into powder a lot faster, but it just takes a little bit of time. So that's just like a tip if you wanted to do this process a little faster. So I'm gonna go ahead and move over this over here, so now we can grind up the powder, the bones. And you can leave a little bit in there for the bones because we're going to start incorporating it very, very slowly. So just take some bones, like that much right there, and then let me move this over here before I start making a mess. and then you can start grinding that up. And because the bones are a little bit thinner, they're going to start kind of breaking apart a lot faster. So I'm going to do that, and then I will come back and add more in there. And we keep going. So go ahead and add like a little bit of the rice as you know, add more bones, just because you want it to be balanced. You want the ratio to be fairly even, but just slightly, like a little bit more bones. Go. And okay, and we keep going. So I'm gonna start putting it in my jar, and I'm gonna try to filter it as much as I can because I want to make sure the bones are broken up properly. So there we go. So if you see a couple of pieces that are not yet broken up, just leave it in the mortar and pestle so you can continue to break that down. But so far we got a lot of bone powder. All right, so we still gotta break that down. So I'm gonna add a teaspoon, like a little bit of a dash of this. And then we continue. All right, so we're in our last bit. And I think we are good. Yeah, I think we're good. So that's basically just give it a nice mix. Make sure everything is incorporated. Hold on. This thing's like rolling everywhere. Okay. Okay. So that is it. That is how to make bone powder. So this is a base ingredient, so you can use this for so many different things, but you can also add more to this. I just wanted to keep mine simple because I like to kind of mix it depending on the spell. So this is my base bone powder, and then if the spell requires, you know, like if it's for a specific thing and they require different ingredients, I will incorporate it other powders and mix it together, just to give it that But this is going to give it that foundation. It's going to strengthen it, and ultimately it's going to do what I need it to do. So yeah, that's how I make my bone powder. Let me know if you know you have other ways that you make your bone powder at home, so you know we can all learn from each other. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep, like, this was about half of it left, and I'm gonna keep this one. So yeah, I'm gonna have these two, and I'm gonna use them for two different things because I do like having not just bone powder on hand, but bones themselves on hand as well. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I saw a comment that wanted me to kind of go further with it, so I wanted to you know, show you guys how I was gonna make it. But I hope that this was helpful. I hope you learned something. Do not forget to check out the Healing America ceremony. It's a state-by-state ceremony to heal the land. It's a free event that I'm going to be doing in September, and it's statewide. So if you want to participate, the link will be down below in the form. And if you want to check out the Patreon, the link will be down below. Or if you want to be a channel member, you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and I will definitely see you loves in the next one. Bye.